Happy Friday 13th, everybody. Good to see you all. Good morning, everybody. Gillis Lynn, everybody. Good. Welcome back, everyone on social media. Little crazy shit that's going on last night. Looks like Israel kind of bombed Iran and market take a little bit of hit. Bitcoin took a big hit yesterday, but it came back a little bit. But there is a stock right now that is going crazy regarding about the war. And I'm not just talking about military stocks. I'm talking about other stocks. I'm going to check them out and other things. But just remember, today is Friday. It is going to be another shitty weekend here in New York. I don't know what hell this damn winter summer is, but it's a nice day today. And typically, I always like to remind everybody on a Friday going into summertime, you're not going to really have that much action going on, but there is some things going on due to the war that's going on right now, and it looks like it's going to get quite ugly for a little while. So we need to be prepared for it. Get ready, and there's going to be opportunities. Listen, there's always something that is going to escalate the stock market and do something, and certain stocks are going to benefit from it, and some of them are going to get crushed by it. So those are the things that we got to focus on when it comes to trading. So like it or not, for it, against it, listen, you don't want to stand on the sidelines and just see these things run up the way they do. So you got to be prepared for it. Anyway, let's talk about some of the stocks before we go through the watch list and show you what's moving in the market on those stocks. Yesterday, we had a couple of nice, really, really, really good moves. Oracle did really well yesterday. And what I wanted to point out with Oracle is that Oracle had this major seller out between 200, 210, 220, just a ton of sellers out there. Great run in Oracle on the earnings announcements, and it did it. And even if you missed it on the following day, it did pick up in the morning. So it was on the more expensive side. I love Oracle as a company. I can't believe it went up this much as we did. I mean, listen, there's stocks that we traded. We did really well on the Liberation Day rally, and crash, whatever you want to call it. But there were a lot of other stocks out there that did pretty well too. This one was one of them, and it's still going to go higher. Let's see if it holds here pretty strong here. That one did pretty well. CGTL was another one. I'm going to throw this back on the watch list. I'm going to throw CGTL back on this watch list right here. Nice little move, nice little trend here. Great move on that one from going into the close. You could see $1.20 to about $2.10, still pushing up pretty strong there. So we got that one, SGMT. Another nice little mover yesterday, not only as a day trade, but even as a swing trade. Was $3 stock, and just less than 2 weeks ago, it's already up at $8. These are those nice little small caps that we find that moving pretty well. That one did pretty well. OKLO. Okay, that one. Listen, I'm a big fan when it comes to these nuclear stocks, okay? So they went up a lot. And remember, if you listened to me and Josh talking yesterday, I had one foot out the door, one in the door. You got to be really, really careful between this and SMR. Another one, nuclear stocks. They're up a lot, and I had it. I got out of it. I got back into it. I got out of it. I lost money on it. Not a bad thing. Another one I do want to point out. I want to bring up another. What else we had? Anything else was out there? United Healthcare. So I bought more United Healthcare yesterday. I love the stock. Love stocks that get destroyed. $600 stock down to $250. A lot of you were with me when we bought at $275. We got out around $305. I got back in. I bought more at $300. And I bought more at $305. If we can get past, and this is a swing trade, we can get past these resistance levels right around here. What's the high right there? Yeah, 322, right around there. If we can get past these highs, start filling in this gap right here around 340, we can see a really, really, really nice run. The only issue is it's expensive. Okay, that's the big issue. All right, now, couple of bad news that came out. Obviously, you saw what happened with GameStop. And the reason why I'm bringing up GameStop is because something happened in GameStop just affected a stock that I'm in right now that I got my ass a little kicked this morning. And it's just shit happens. Shit happens. So GameStop, if you see right here, they came out not only with the earnings announcements, but then they made an announcement that they were doing a secondary offering. What that means that they're looking to raise more money, okay? Well, that's not good for the stock because that's more shares in the float that devalues the stock. And that's why the stock went from 28 down to 22. I sold that stock. Thank God. Okay. This is the, where are we? Yeah, there we go. So here was the earnings announcement that came out here. I got out right around here. Why am I going so far? Right around here, around 28. I'm like, thank God I got out of it because I would have got really beat up on that. The problem is Archer did the same shit. Okay. So Archer came out with news that they're raising over $800 million, and that just devalued the stock. Listen, it's good in the long run. It happened with us. If some of you remember, we traded BJ's. Let me bring up BJ's here. Was it BJ? Was it BJS? What's BJ's? There it is, right there. So it happened with BJ's a long time ago, and we were watching when BJ's went public, and within like 2-3 months, they did a secondary offering. It actually worked out pretty well for BJ's. So long term, it looks pretty good, but in the short term, kind of sucks. So I was doing well with Archer. I owned it. I owned it right around here, around the 11, and now I'm down to 10, down $1, not a big deal. A lot of support levels here. Now let's talk about what's moving this morning regarding about the war. Okay, so there are some stocks that are benefiting from it, and it's usually your typical war stocks. You got here is Lockheed Martin. It's gapped up pretty big. It's up $14 right now. There we go. So Lockheed Martin, obviously moving up pretty well. You can see how that stock. What's the other one? RTX. A lot of the military stocks are doing pretty well. You can see it's up 2.3%. But this is the stock you got to keep an eye on. Okay, this is the one you got to watch. And it's called Nuke right here. So NUKK, everybody remember this stock? We traded it not too long ago. This thing was like a crazy stock. We traded this a while ago, okay? So right here, back in December, the stock ran from $1 all the way to $80, okay? And it came back down. Now, Nuke does everybody know what this company does? Okay, they are the ones that make the dome, make the Golden Dome that Israel has to protect missiles coming over. So this stock obviously benefits from that. Okay, they're the ones that build. They have the technology. I know the United States is looking to build it too. Canada's looking to do it, but I don't think they're a U.S. company, and I don't think they're going to share their technology with the United States. So, all right, whatever. Anyway, the stock was all the way down to a price of 25 cents. Is that crazy? 25 cents. Yeah, the Iron Dome. That's what it's called. Right. That's right, Samuel. So Trump wants the Iron Dome also, but I think he wants to deal with a U.S. company. They're not the only ones that are doing it. It's one of them. So keep an eye on Nuke. All right. So if they use up a lot of missiles, they're going to basically need to replenish them. And this is the company that basically builds them. All right. So you probably didn't know that. That's why we're here at Cyber Trading University. That's why you're here as a day trader. All right. So what the hell's all these things coming up here? Getting all these stupid alerts on my phone. Oh, there we go. Hey, Louis, I see you on YouTube. All right. A couple other stocks also moving in the market right now, too. We got this Robin Energy. This stock is up tremendous. It by the time you guys came in this morning around 8 o'clock, you could have probably got in around 9:40. The thing already ran to 12. It's a category 4 stock. So I would be really, really careful with it. All right. Very careful with that stock right there. This stock is obviously not up our alley. We're going to stay away from it. This one's also moving, but she's gapped up pretty big. She's probably going to be a short squeeze. Remember, we traded this back in January. Ran from like $2 to $6, came back down. But it's okay with us. Short squeeze, long squeeze, I don't care. As long as it makes us money, it's all that matters. All about risk to reward. Another one, Icon, is another nice little pushing stock. Very inexpensive, good trend, but she's kind of flat. What I like about this stock is this. I'm a big bottom fishing person. I love stocks that get destroyed, just like I showed you United Healthcare. 114, this stock went all the way down to $1. This thing got hammered. Maybe this is the bounce on it. Maybe getting a little bit of a push. So we got a little bit of move on this stock. I like these kind of stocks. Okay. Nuke is already number 5 on the watch list. I don't know why the news came up right around 8:30. Program trading came in, but that's a hell of a bounce right there. All right. What else we got going on here? All right. So not really that much more to watch. We're going to put the military stocks on here. Lockheed Martin. I even think Boeing is in it, right? BA should be probably moving too. Not as much. So you got RTX. Those two are really like the main big ones. All right. I like the Scottish Plan Dome myself. All right. SBET. Woo! Everybody remember SBET, right? What a great mover. I was actually out to dinner with a couple of friends of mine. We call ourselves, I hang out with these guys for coffee in the morning. We call ourselves the Breakfast Club. And they're like, man, Fausto, I bought the stock at 90. I sold it at 105. I'm like, yeah, did you see where it is today? I haven't spoken to him this morning, but my God, talking about a haircut. Once it filled that gap fill right here at 30. That was it. That is your classic short squeeze. But we made a lot of money with that stock right there. Another one right here, XTAI, same shit. Thing took off, came right back down. Another short squeeze on that one. So yep. Always can find we always know there's short squeeze. This one's a pretty good one too. HUSA. This one's moving up pretty nicely. It moved pretty nicely yesterday. Had a push from 6, ran all the way to 8. Now it's another big push. It's probably going to be extremely volatile. I'll be really careful of it. Archer, you can see here's on the biggest losers list. I would be focused on maybe buying back Archer. I might average down on it. If it holds here around these prices, right around $9, somewhere around this, it's a really big support levels. Right around here, around the $8, $9, I would consider getting more. We'll keep an eye on it. These are all garbage. All right. Anything I'm missing I did not call out? Anything else? Listen, it's Friday. Be careful, okay? We're going to be broadcasting live, so if everybody's watching on social media, don't go anywhere. Josh and I and Rich will be back with you to trade this open. Don't listen. Fridays are nickels and dimes, okay? Usually takes about 5 to 10 minutes before things start picking up. That happened to us yesterday. So, that's the typical summer. But you got your list. I'm going to check it twice. I'm going to post it on our alerts. Make sure you subscribe to X or Telegram, or if you're in the trading room, we have our alert service, all right? So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, cyber traders. All right, traders, we are off.
There we go. Off and running.
Yep.
Fausto, how's it going for Friday?
I'm totally pissed off about that Archer. Other
Yeah.
than that, everything is good.
Outside of the Archer, at least I should have prefaced.
Yeah. I'm getting popping Oracle right now too.
Yeah, right now I'm just hanging back for Friday. Normally would anyway, because it's summer Friday at this point after Memorial Day, Friday, warm weather month. But everything happening in the Middle East, Israel, Iran, blah, blah, blah. There's stuff happening right now, I think. They're talking about like retaliation even like coming up in the next few hours. So I'll see how the markets react.
Well, that nuke stock, just got to keep close. It's very volatile. I know there's also a warrant for it.
That
Very
makes it
cheap
more
warrant.
volatile.
Yeah.
Definitely do that on small size because the order book's going to be very thin for that trade. We've done that before. Starting to get a couple pops at least here. I mean, the market's moving up to begin, so you just want to wait the first 5 minutes regardless. But it's at least good to see a few things starting to make a little pop.
Yeah, there's a couple of things I'm looking. Lockheed Martin's going back down. RTX is going down. Yeah, this is these things, like wars are very easy to kind of predict. They're not like big catastrophes like COVID, like whoever thought like something's get the next plague that came in, or financial crisis. I mean, like weirdest things that just 9/11, like crazy hurricanes. It's normal, but some crazy stuff going on. Yeah, Palantir is moving up a little bit. I just see it's making a big pop right now.
That's definitely one. I thought you were going to say Palantir at first when you were hyping up that nuke stock. You're like, I got this one stock. And like, for as much as we talk about Palantir, like you're hyping up a lot. It's so good. We love it. But yeah, you swerved me a bit. You went with nuke.
Yeah, well, nuke is the one that makes the Iron Dome. So
Gotcha. That's right. You know what? I forgot about that news that came with it.
yeah, that was a crazy stock at that time you were trading.
Archer's dropping back down towards that 980-ish area, 975, 980-ish. If it does break that, Fausto, I know you were talking about $9 or so.
Yeah,
I could see a faster drop there if we lose this support.
Yeah, well, they
I mean,
raising
the
about
news
$1
that
billion.
came out though isn't bad. It's like it tanks the stock price, obviously, but it's not like it's like bad news. CEO doing something illegal or crap like that. They're probably raising money.
Well, it devalues the stock. You know what I mean?
It definitely crushes the stock, but
it crushes.
I feel like it's going to bounce.
It's not a bad company. It just But then the other aspect is like why they need money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. Maybe I'm going to buy Bitcoin.
Yeah.
That's actually why GameStop tanked, because Ryan Cohen said he was going to buy more Bitcoin with, I think, like, whatever money they raised, and he didn't yet. Now he's actually being praised because Bitcoin tanked from where it was. So they're like, oh, okay, now he's going to use the money towards it there. So it's kind of funny.
Bitcoin's ran $1 as you speak. You know that, right?
What was that?
GameStop ran a buck. It is moving.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. A little push. It had some big volume yesterday heading into the afternoon. It's a weird looking chart. Zoom out on the 1 minute chart, Rich. Just show Fausto what happened yesterday in the afternoon. Look how weird that is. Just kind of stalled out for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes in the afternoon, like dead, and then just pop, move up, all over the place. Better move here.
500. Yeah, GameStop's going, moving pretty nicely this morning. The Archer, like you just called out at that 980, just it definitely bounced there. There's a buyer there. There's a pretty decent buyer at 950, and then all the way down to 9.
Good reaction so far. So that's a good sign. Oh my shit. I missed it, Fausto. Oh my God. Or I'll go to ASTS. We've been talking about this all freaking week, and I've been mentioning from the 36th level, and I missed we were on yesterday. I was saying like, oh, don't get too emotional, like miss a move. Like, oh, and it happened to me there. Look at this pop this morning.
This thing won't stop.
Oh my God. We were talking about the prospect of this going to 40 sooner than later. Like on Tuesday, we were talking about this.
Well, did it break all-time highs? All-time highs is $90. 30. Yeah, it looks like it broke it.
You don't hear me get that frustrated
39.
instantly like that, so I'm normally pretty contained, at least on these airwaves.
And Oracle's looking pretty damn good
Check this
too.
out. I want to see if this shows up for everyone inside the live trading room. I'm just flashing a post that I had from yesterday, or from Tuesday, the 10th, right? I'm just saying ASTS, as long as it stays over 36, I could see a quick swing move up towards 40. So I didn't jump in at the time, unfortunately. I missed my train, but that's a hell of a move.
I wonder if there's a short squeeze in Oracle now.
Be a short squeeze on this thing here coming up.
ASTS.
Yeah, there might be a lot of short squeezes here, because if the market reverses and people were short from this week, or like we're just short going into this morning, they'll get run over.
RCAT just popped. It's going to be a slingshot too.
That's a good move also. Yeah, that's a nice run.
Yeah. Got to take some stocks off my list.
APLD with a little pop to begin. Okay, we're after the first 5 minutes now, so let's see what we can get.
Yeah, it looks like everything just did their 5-minute whatever. Even like Hood made a big bounce.
APLD could be worth something. I'm going to focus a little bit on that for a few minutes.
These things are a rocket, man. This ASTS.
Yeah. It's funny, pun not intended there, but it is a pun. Space Mobile, rocket. Let's see if the SPY can stick here, because we had that first pop in the first 5 minutes. So if we hold and just keep going up, then perfect.
Getting a ladder up on Archer.
I will take that, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I see that there. I had to zoom out the price there a bit from 950, 975. A 3-layer cake.
Yeah, I mean, like, the short term, like this is like normal. Like even like the stock like NASDAQ, we trade that NDAQ. That had a really good run. Went from 65 up to 85. And not a huge win, but yeah, it's a pretty decent move. These companies, they do these mergers like that. They did a huge merger. And I mean, like it's like for me, what's going to happen with Dick's Sporting Goods, same thing. Like when they take a big hit, cash hit, but after they figure everything out and they start settling down, they may start running up, like, so that's why you got to keep an eye on like Archer, you got to keep an eye on GameStop, whatever it is. Like after they take these big hits, they sometimes they make a little bit of a comeback.
You're getting a pullback right here on APLD right after I was just mentioning it. So you got to make sure that you see resistance flip into support. A couple levels here that we need to see APLD hold over. And this ASTS just won't stop.
What's the news on it again?
So the whole thing, at least, and Rich, get like the actual news on it, at least like go on Benzing, we'll get the actual news. But when Elon and Trump were having their beef, basically people were looking at competitors to Starlink, competitors to SpaceX. So ASTS or Rocket Lab, one of the two at least. So I apologize for the general answer. One of the two is a competitor to Starlink with the satellite internet. I think it might be ASTS.
Okay, it's got to be Space Mobile. That makes sense.
One of them has a bunch of rockets they already have up there, or like launches of in space, satellites, or all that. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it then. Satellite applications for ASTS, Rich posting. All right, so far a little slingshot on my APLD. Got to make sure that we keep seeing higher highs next, but starting to get a couple trades. Maybe the quantums maybe moving up a little bit.
Stock's up a double already in 2 weeks. ASTS.
Can't complain too much. We've had a couple of good day trades on it from the past week and a half. Rocket Lab, RKLB going up with it right now too. And Lunar also. Lunar also is making a smaller pop. That one probably weaker compared to the others, but
It's only up 9% too. I can't believe how crushed SBet got. I don't know what happened with that thing.
Yeah, it's
Holy
down
shit.
75% just overnight.
Oh my God. Talking about a short squeeze.
Yeah, really, that's the aftermath of it.
Someone did really good on that one. Even like MULN, same thing. We did well on that one.
That one's definitely well, both were expected. MULN's been proven though, like that trade we've done well on as a day trade, and then we see a tank like 30-40% the next day. So that definitely wasn't a surprise to see that one drop. How about MCTR? That was the other one that you did well on in class.
Yep. You know, it's moving up. They had earnings yesterday. We didn't really talk about. We rarely trade it, but Restoration Hardware, RH.
Give me a quick sec, Faust. I apologize. Funny enough, for Kerry here inside our live trading room, Weeding Wednesday, get the landscapers around me. It changed to Weeding Friday. So give me a quick sec.
Yeah. Yeah, Restoration Hardware trying to move up a little bit. That stock was at 180, 210. By the way, anyone ever go to Restoration Hardware? The most beautiful store ever. You have one in Manhattan. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful restaurant, rooftop. Problem is, to buy a handle for your kitchen, those handles on your kitchen cabinet is like, $50.
Kerry saying fertilizing Friday instead. Yeah. Getting a small bounce on that APLD I was looking for. So we need to get the higher high next over 1250, but there could be something there.
So GameStop looks like, GameStop's at a lot of support levels here.
Still holding.
Yeah, that's a really good sign.
The same move that APLD is actually. It kind of coiled up first 10 minutes, now trying to break higher.
Buy some.
You got a couple moves out here so far this morning. Just a matter of being selective. You never want to just jump into something to just jump in, right? And I know all of us here would agree on the forefront, like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, I don't do, but hey, when we're just looking at a trade, we're trying to like just make money. It's easy to throw the rule set out the window, and we don't want to do that. So, that's where you say you got to just make sure the stock has good icebergs, good trends near the highs. GameStop here.
I bought some.
This is probably more of like, it's not category 5. This is probably like a 3.
Which, GameStop?
Yeah. I mean, it could be a 4.
Yeah, no, it's a 3. I mean, listen, when you see tier sizes of hundreds going across, definitely 3.
Yeah. It's not like it's like a 5 though. It's not yet a 5. It's not like on a 30-cent spread. Get some big candles though. EPLD having a tough time with 1250. Market as a whole is having a tough time going higher from here. Had a good pop right out the gate, but just been kind of coiling up. Just moving my stop up now at this point in my trade just to break even.
Archer's going to hold here.
The way I like to kind of one of the ways I like to discuss like just trading throughout the day, Fausto, you never want to like trade like 50 times a day, too much, right? Like 20 times a day, even too much. I was actually working with a student yesterday, going over a journal and just telling, like, reassuring her, like, hey, you are not over trading. You are doing just fine with the number of trades you do. But think of it like a round of golf. If you go par on a hole of golf, is that bad? Is that terrible?
No, it's amazing.
Not at all.
I think my handicap's like 130.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't even have a handicap, so that doesn't mean it's a 0. It's just, it'd probably be a 400. Mine would be, but basically, like, hey, if you go par on a hole of golf, that's not the end of the world. So if you go break even on a trade, then it's not the end of the world.
And Lynn Randy is bringing it up about Tom Busby. He said he traded like 1,000 trades, and we used to write things by hand.
Dude, what did he say?
He did like 1,000 trades a day.
Tom Busby did 1,000 trades a day?
Back in the day, when you were on the floor.
Oh my God. How much in commission was he paying?
Oh, we were paying like, back then as a floor trader, you're paying like probably like a $20. You
For
know, the
what,
most I
two,
did was
1,000
150.
trades?
Yeah, I don't know how he did it, but apparently,
Insane.
yeah, it is. So
No, that was a
Palantir.
good conversation that you had with him earlier this week. I know that we had a couple of videos that came out. Just we have our full podcasts and a couple clips that we put out on YouTube here and there.
Mhm.
I'll tell you, some things having a tough time right now. This market's pulling back a little bit, not dropping, but just a lot of trades having a tough time getting the next leg. GameStop is doing good, holding.
Yeah, it's holding. Palantir is holding too. I did a good video on that. I don't know if anybody saw it, but
Yeah, you did. That was a nice short that you came out with yesterday. It's pushing
yeah,
pretty nicely.
buy a little more Palantir.
I'm just riding out this APLD. It's either gonna take
I'm
me
gonna
out for a par, go break even, or it's gonna pop. One of the two.
average up.
It's a nice trade, though. Really good move. I mean, of course, on the intraday, but just looking at the daily chart, this has been steady.
Which one?
Palantir, it's had this like period of consolidation where it's had some red candles. It's been holding higher lows though, and just gradually moving up more.
I can't trade anymore the main stock, so you could trade the ETF, the PLTU.
Yeah, a little less expensive, at least those are.
It's the same thing, just you're paying half the price and goes up just as much, but it goes down twice as fast. That's it. Yeah, it's pushing up really strong.
More on that
Oh, that
ASTS
has a
swing yesterday. I had time to take it from 36 and just see what happens this morning. That's a nice pop, at least from earlier. I'll tell you, Palantir just keeps going up too, so you could say the same thing there.
yeah, it's doing good.
Let's see. Check this chart out.
It definitely has something to do with the war.
A lot of the stocks from this morning just dropping off more here, like INDO, HUSA. Those tend to go up whenever there's war or there's like tension in the Middle East, things going on with Israel, Iran, Russia, Ukraine.
Well, they probably need them for something. There was a buyer out there on Archer holding it pretty strong too.
Yeah, Archer's trying to hold a higher low, at least.
Yeah, I'm shocked that it's not. I think I have an average up.
That's right. I could show this now. You were doing the meeting and I just found it, so I didn't want to jump in between. There was a crazy transaction that popped up in the pre-market hours this morning for Archer. I just saw this big spike on my chart. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Let me even just dig into the time and sales, do some good old tape reading. And there was, I think it was like a 420,000 share print that got filled this morning. I'll show it to you here. Give me a moment. Give me a moment here. I copied it earlier. I'll post it here inside the live trading room. There we go. And actually, Rich, if you want to just like blast that on your screen so even people on social media can just like see that there, kind of like make that image big on your trading room and just blow it up there. Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
I bought more Palantir and Archer.
Look at that Archer this morning, Fausto. 2 minutes before your meeting, this thing came out on the tape. 424,000.
Is that
like
a call?
1029.
Wow.
So like, why? What's the reason for that? Like, we don't know. We can't like pull our hair out like trying to figure out why. But look what happened since this morning. It's dropped. So if it blasts over that, I think that we'll have a much stronger move back up over time sooner than later.
The all-time high is on is exactly 140. Is the seller still out there? Yeah, he's still out there. That big seller.
Fausto, I'm sorry here, not to cut you off. I got a couple of chats here for you inside our trading room. Chuck saying, Fausto, you're an Italian cook / chef. I'm curious as to which olive oil your family uses. I've read a lot about how many store brands are diluted. Looking for a little olive oil advice right now.
I gotta check, but I use it's not even just Italian oil I do use. I like to use also Greek oil. Greeks make actually pretty good olive oil too. But like for cooking oil, Italian oil is probably a little better. Uh, I'll get you the name. There's two of them. The really big one,
Your guy
Bertolli.
Michael Salakis, right? Isn't he Greek?
Yeah, he's Greek. Yeah, someone
Okay,
remember
yeah.
him?
My dad always
He
appreciates
cooked
the
for us.
book that I got him from you.
We had a private dinner with him.
Yep. And then also just another chat here, really briefly. Just I was catching up here in the board. Clarence asking you, Faust, on Palantir. Do you like the PLTU ETF over PTIR? Which one's that one? We haven't really seen that one. Oh, that one's expensive though.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah, so price just comes into play. You don't want to put too much money into one position, and if it's something that's as expensive as that, there's not much of a need to trade it.
I tell you, if we get past this 280,000 share seller at 140, there's another 33,000 share seller right now at 139.
GameStop is still just, I mean, maybe now is the pullback here, but it's holding still pretty nicely.
Yeah, well, it's consolidating, which is a good sign, but it's a big, big, big tall order to get through it. You got to get through that order. The longer it trades here, the better it is. The market's not helping. It's been going down. We're down 540.
Par on my hole for APLD, so I'm very happy with that because it just slammed down another 10 cents lower. So I don't care about making 8 or 10 pennies if I'm looking for that better move. I care about losing 8 or 10 pennies though, which I didn't do. So this ASTS is still just holding here really nicely. Testing 41 one more time now. I was asking our students, Fausto, what do they have going on for this weekend, at least here. When I logged in, I was just asking everyone for their plans. Sam says, his daughter's coming home for Father's Day. There you go. And be low key as they work hard and need their sleep. Carrie going fishing, hopefully, crabbing in a baseball stadium. But lots of rain incoming. Fausto, what are you doing for Father's Day coming up?
In the rain?
Oh.
I don't know. I'm probably going to go fishing like I always do.
There you go.
It's
Supposed to be
gonna.
nice out at least over Father's Day.
Yeah, you guys, the weather's better where you guys are. I don't know. To me, I don't know. It's another day, I guess. I guess Mother's Day is more important to me because make my wife happy because all the work she puts in taking care of the kids. For me, I don't really make that much big of a deal. I don't know, just me. I guess everyone probably feels. I don't know how everyone else feels, but
Hopefully
I
hopefully
mean,
you have a
you know what
nice day.
happened?
Hopefully you have a nice day. Hopefully the sons take care of you and everyone
I
can't
might make.
busy at least
I
on
might make.
Sunday treats you right.
I might make a trip to Costco.
There you go. All right, so that makes you happy.
It makes me happy. It's my happy place.
Costco, some fishing, maybe a little lobster fry Diablo for dinner.
Yeah, that's it. Make some fresh pizzas. I like doing that. That's fun.
So,
Oh,
again,
look at
just
that.
like the one trade I took today on,
Okay.
well, the one day trade I took on EPLD, just
There
no
you go.
problem. I mean, it's a bunch of trades pulling back. This whole market kind of not holding as well as you'd want to see it.
Yeah, because the market's coming down. We're making new lows on the day.
So this thing I'm back testing, I've been saying this whole week, like I've been mainly focused on longs and buying opportunities. It applies to both, but I've just been more like geared to buying. So we'll see if there could be some good opportunities for some shorts, buy some puts maybe, but it's a Friday. No need to get like crazy.
I just got to take a picture. Someone send it to somebody.
SPY basically filled the overnight gap from like 8 o'clock last night to 4 a.m. That's actually very clean. It's a clean looking gap fill.
It's holding pretty strong, shockingly. This stock, RBNE.
Yeah, that is. And that might be, yeah, that's doing its own thing. That's doing its own thing right there. So I like that.
Carrie caught some rockfish.
Pull this up on my book map here.
Probably gonna go with me and my wife and take a jet skiing today.
Yeah.
Beach, go get some clams. I love going clamming. Clamming's so much fun. You know why? You always catch something.
Yeah,
Always
so
catch
many
something.
of them. I'm a big clam guy. I'm allergic to like shellfish, like shrimp, lobster, crab, but I could have clams, oysters. So I always appreciate that whenever I have the chance to have good clams, good oysters, good steamers.
You're allergic to that?
Yeah, I'm allergic to dude. You remember this was well, this is a long time ago. So we had a happy hour in our like at Cool Fish.
Yeah.
We were at Cool Fish for a happy hour. This is like early days, and you ordered popcorn shrimp,
Yep.
and I thought I guess like I
I
thought it was
remember that.
popcorn chicken or something, and I
Yeah.
have it right away. I'm like, oh shit, here we go. So about like 15 minutes later, I basically left. I'm like, I have to leave. Like, I got to get like Benadryl. I never need like an EpiPen or anything like that. Thank God, knock on wood. But yeah, I'm allergic. That was a long time ago, actually, though.
Yeah, that was a good restaurant when it was open. We always had when we did our on sites, we all went down there.
Mhm.
That was nice. Um, Typical Friday. Marcus down 600.
Oh, yeah, so it's RBNE that you said, though, at least. Okay, so I want to focus more on this now. We had some good volume that got filled at $12 earlier. So if it could hold support at 12, there's a good shot for this to run a lot better. But hey, if it doesn't, then this thing will snap back down just as quick as it popped.
Karen on YouTube saying customer sentiment coming out at 10 a.m. Is that really a big number though? I don't think it's gonna probably affect too much.
What consumer sentiment? Um, smaller, in the sensitive market. Maybe there's more bearing to it, with everything going on. So, oh, it's 3 minutes away at least. So we'll figure it out. Actually, Karen, you're a former student of CTU, if I'm not mistaken. So great to have you back, at least just joining us on the YouTubes, and look forward to having you potentially come back inside our live trading room eventually. But I remember you, Karen. Great to see you back.
Yeah, welcome back.
The issue on this RBNE is just the order book. Again, it's like it's so thin, so you can't trust any of these tiny little orders out there. You could trust the volume that got filled earlier on this. So that's where I was hoping to see 12 be a support, but it's tough. Oh my
What
God, I'm
else we
so
got going
happy
on?
I just went break even. I went par on that trade for APLD. Things down at 11.95 now.
Everything's like stopped right here. You know that?
11.88 now. This thing's puking. Oh man. Happy I got out.
Oh man, I think I bought Palantir too soon.
That drop. It's like
Yeah,
kind of like where I just jokingly say it's like true. And that's why they make seatbelts in cars. You avoid a car crash here and avoid getting hurt.
I think I didn't buy too much of it. Yeah, I didn't buy too much of it. Thank God.
Huh?
I'll hold for a little bit more of a shake. I won't break my 30-second rule.
Okay, that was the weirdest thing ever. Okay. I thought I was in a trade and I thought I accidentally closed said trade out only to realize I wasn't even in it. Weird Friday. Now I'm actually in the trade, the RBNE. Just got my stop set here on this trade now.
We didn't bring up which had a little bit. I'm a little bit too nervous buying it now, but the SBIT
Oh,
got so
yeah.
crushed that
That's
we might get a little.
crazy. Look at that gap.
Yeah, I'm just going to check level 4 though. I don't want to. I'm just curious who's out there.
I don't think I've ever seen something like that. Zoom back out there, the rich. Make it like just regular. Yes, because our faces on the stream are blocking that gap. So yeah, you could see like pretty much it gapped up maybe like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, ran up.
Right.
And like basically where it gapped down from yesterday is where it gapped up to that one day. It's so weird. It's a weird chart. It's almost like a house that's elevated or floating.
Somebody got squeezed.
So, up and down both.
Really bad.
Someone got rinsed on the way down. Someone got squeezed on the way up.
Big
Uh,
time.
this RBNE trade's trying, but again, you can't trust it as far as you could throw it with this order book. Nothing else from this thing. I'm kind of back testing is like looking too great so far this morning. GameStop kind of shaking back down. I mean, that's the last of everything that was holding. So, I mean, Palantir, I guess, might be the only other one.
It's trying to hold right now.
Yeah, Palantir's been good. The airline's been getting crushed. So I know, of course, what happened with Boeing and that that plane in India for unfortunately. You see that one guy survived.
What's the story with that? There's rumors going around. Did he jump out the exit window door?
That I don't know. I think he had an exit seat, right? It was like 11A, like seat 11A or something. He
I
has some bruises, like some scratches, obviously,
someone
but
told me
he
he
was like
jumped out the
fine. Like,
door. I
talked
don't know
to
if
him,
he opened up the exit door and he jumped out of it.
That's nuts, man. And like that goes into a lot deeper of a conversation of like life and all that stuff, like how to be the sole survivor on a plane. Like, how does that happen? And
Is it me? Is that when a plane crashes, they purposely make it where everyone has to die, so they didn't get sued?
what was that?
They purposely make every plane that whenever there's a crash, everyone ends up dying on it. Majority, most of the time, it's like they purposely make it to that they die. I mean, I don't get it. Like, no one can survive a plane crash. I mean, they do it on a car. I mean, why don't they put airbags in the damn thing?
Listen, man, we're dropping down from 30,000 feet in the sky, so there's definitely liability when you're jumping on a plane to begin with. Um, Kelly says, yeah, he jumped out, eyes burned, face burned. Yeah, I saw that, but I didn't know for a fact if he jumped out or not. Kelly's saying that on YouTube. It's crazy right now. That situation.
Yeah,
Plus,
fire
I
smoke
think that there
filled.
was something even yesterday with JetBlue flight that had something happen to it here in the States. So it's been happening for this whole last couple of years, right? Last several years with all these different plane accidents, but
Mhm.
been dropping off a lot the last couple days.
Not to cut you off, but I'm telling you, something's up with this RBNE. It's not going down. It's not. It looks like
All
it's going to
held
make.
as support. It's
It
exactly
looks
what
like
we needed to see here. It's just
it looks like it's going to break a high.
you can't trust it, but you could trust strategy, and as long as strategy can prevail, then there's a chance. Actually, on this, if I could even just do it in time, take half my trade out here and keep half.
It's like it's hovering right there.
I mean, you can technically do this on decent size, but just the order book is very thin. So, if you know how to work your limit orders, then there's a better chance of you getting filled at your price, your time. Kelly says that she lives in Detroit, and in 1987, a plane crashed on our freeway, and one child lived. Her mother saved her by covering her up. Wow, that's crazy. And I'm sure there's all sorts of stories that not like the vast minority of people here know about, like that. Like that's something I was unaware of. Probably make a giant movie on that. Here comes the whole Fausto. There we go.
Yeah,
General Holt
yeah,
here
it's going
kicking
up.
in. Perfect.
Um,
Very nice. Finally, we got a good mover here now. We called it out just before.
yeah, I got a little piece of it, very small though. I chased it though. I didn't want to. I use buy a small lot if I'm chasing it, but hopefully everybody here, the students that are here, we cover this in class a lot, how to actually when and when not to chase. But this stock right here, up 300%. Usually, if you're up 300% at the open, would be the first thing you would do. Take a profit, right? Really didn't go down that much. It was holding here pretty strong for a while. You're talking 45 million shares traded. So something is definitely going on with it. Something up with it.
And this is also where, like, thankfully, where the market has been kind of weak today, not a lot holding is nice. Like when you said, like, oh, RBNE, like instantly the gears started clicking. Like, okay, where was their previous resistance that got broken above? Can that flip into a support? thankfully it happened. You know, it's a crazy stock with the order book, so it could have tanked, it could have went the other way, but nothing else moving as well. What you call it, the blitz? So maybe there could be more to it here coming up. What's the daily chart look like, Rich, as far as long term? Go back on like the daily. Okay, so that is, what's the open on that red candle? 14.99. Sounds like a price you're getting on sale. All right, so I'm probably just going to take my profit on the second half. What I got just when this reopens. Yeah, and like you said, Fausto, it's not big size. You don't need big size to make at least a decent profit on this trade.
No,
We
we
knew it
did.
was trading pretty thin to begin with.
Even like SBIT, it went from like 40 up to 120. Like, listen, if you trade 10 shares of it, you know what I mean? Because it was too crazy. Listen,
And I do want to
40
make
to
like
60, you
just
still
just
made
to mention on
grand.
the flip side of that though, like because I get off a call with a gold student from the other day, and they're asking, like, do you guys like train people to make like $1,000 a day, or because I always see people talking about small size, and the answer is like yes, absolutely. But to learn how to make 1,000 a day or trade larger size, you got to learn how to trade smaller size, right?
Well,
Um,
let me. I was talking to someone yesterday about this. This woman, a great woman. She's gonna want to be she's definitely gonna be a student of ours. Uh, and all the new students here, I always say to everyone. So the for everybody here, new trial members, because I always ask everyone, do you see people make money? And like I do, but they don't really see how much money they make, and there's a reason for it. Two reasons, and I always say to everybody, number one, I don't like egos. Okay. I don't like people throwing money in your face that they got more money than you. It's just, it's just, listen, everyone has different goals in life. Some people are just happy making 50,000. Some people got to make 250,000. So that's that, or a million. So I don't like that. Number two, even if they, and not only that, but there are new people that are that are starting out, and we break you in nice and slow with 100 share lots. So it's a point system. Some people are making 50 cents on 100. Some people making 50 cents on 10,000. You know what I mean? But you all are in the same pool. You know what I mean? So that's the reason why. Roger said Oracle's making HOD. Yeah, that thing is just not backing off, huh? Damn, it just broke that major high.
Yeah, I mean, hey, even yesterday that was barking at 202, so it blasted over that price this morning, flipped that into support, move on up after.
It's crazy. Look at the stock. You're like, do you buy it here?
Yes, RBNE should reopen up, I'd say, in what, just another minute or two. Yeah, market really didn't do much at 10 o'clock, so maybe it will make a move later on coming up, but just it's been a very stagnant morning, expectedly so, with a lot of people afraid. Not only that, it's a summer Friday. We kind of train ourselves to not expect as much on a summer Friday. So we set the bar low, and then when we have a runner and like we get RBNE and we're jumping in that, then we feel a lot better about the day afterwards. But you don't want to set the bar high and then be underwhelmed by what's happening. Like, oh shoot. So you let emotions take over. You get one more minute, I think, here, Fausto, on this RBNE trade.
I just bought a little bit more Oracle.
It's been a great trade. That's been such a nice stock in terms of, I mean, swing trade, but also day. Here comes RBNA. Seller. I could have had an extra third. Oh, okay. Well, if it tanks, it tanks. I thought I got out at like 1420 something there. It took me out at like 1383.
Cheers to shake.
I'm happy with it either way, but just you know what? It's a combination of two things. You said it's up to 300+%. That's a lot. Could it go up to 600? Maybe, but I'd rather take the money and run on a Friday. And I think one of us said like the float on it really low, so I don't want to be playing with fire.
Well, once we start getting a hold, is that the first hold?
That was the first halt. There could be a second one kicking in then, perhaps.
Yeah. So once you start getting once you start getting halts, what happens? You start getting alerts. People start getting alerts like, "Hey, this stock got halted," and it starts ringing people's alert system. on their platforms, and that's how more people start catching on to it.
The spread's so open on this where it's just like, if you're able to jump in around that 12, you could take the money and run and be happy. Unless if this company cured cancer, then I'll let it go up a little bit more without me. It's fine. You know what? Just to make sure, what's the news out on this company? I want to make sure that they didn't cure cancer. I mean, I hope someone does, but not them. Apparently, it just has to do with like the oil market disruptions, RBNA. They operate a tanker vessel that engages in the transportation of refined petroleum. That's like basically what the company does as a whole. Yeah, they're a shipping company. So another hole kicked in. There's number 2 at least. So if anyone's still holding on, then you're riding that out pretty well.
Here comes the second hole.
Yep. So listen, you can't go broke taking a profit. There's no competition. The only competition is you versus you. So if anyone's riding this wave, I'm happy for you. Keep going.
So it's listen, it took a little time,
Now the key is that if you're in from like 15 or like 14, it's like, that's where things get tight. Fausto called this out when it was like moving over 12 and like shaking around 12. That's where immediately I was thinking, okay, let's look for an entry. If you're in from 15, that's tough,
Well, that's why I'm always looking around. Everyone's, Josh, you doing the talking? I'm doing the watching.
That's it.
I see something weird going on.
Archer's trying to make a little bounce. Let's see if there's more to it over the morning.
I just got out of GameStop. I got a Palantir. I just took a little loss on it. It broke my 30-second rule. That big iceberg water, you got to get through it.
Damn, Fausto, check this out on Archer. So Rich, put a line at that same price. Remember that time and sales print I posted? At 420? That was at the price $10.28. Guess what just hit there as resistance right now? At 1028, just bounced right off that price. That's where you had the 420,000 share transaction just earlier.
Look, Roberto made $2 on RBNE. Good for you. You got into the same price I got Roberto, right? I guess.
Roberto's had a great week.
Yeah, good. Perfect.
All right. What else could we be trying to jump into at this point? I mean, you don't want to get too aggressive and the market's pulling back, so just got to be selective, but maybe there's another RBNE that'll come out.
Yes. Well, listen, it could still run. It could keep going. It's not a lot. I mean, it's oh, look, Clarence is in here. When we good to see you again, Clarence. Hopefully you're enjoying it. I know you say you didn't have enough time in the room last time. Hopefully you're learning a lot. We got a bunch of new people here. Kent from Fishers, Illinois. Who else is new in here? Just got some new trial members in here. Just want to do a quick little shout out to you guys. Sanja from Great Neck, right around the block from me, right next door. Look at you. I'm in Manhasset. There you go. Sunil. Can't even pronounce that country, but Alberta, you from? G. Mark from Missouri. Columbia. All right. Columbia Circle. Look at that. You're right up the block, Clarence. Stanley. From what country? I don't know what that is. TR and Clay. Just opening up soon. All right, should be opening up I'll go for another minute.
Fast. That might be Turkey, country Turkey. Stanley, one of our new members.
Is it open yet? Should be opening up in a minute.
The nuke trade's trying to go back up right now, Fausto.
Is it?
Yeah, just again, the order book's so bad. You got to make sure that there's at least a good level. For the RBNE trade, there was a good level. There was that level $12 from earlier, like a clean iceberg. That's why it made it a great trade. Nuke could go up, but just if there's not as good of an iceberg from earlier, it's tougher for me to jump in. Right, it's kind of tougher here. I need to see something big pop up, maybe an iceberg ladder up. The order book is so thin, especially on the bid side for nuke.
You know, came back a little bit. OKLO okay, made a little bit of a comeback. Okay, is it open? Yeah, we're open. Here we go. So with the thing with RBNE is that if there's nothing really running, this is where the day traders start finding like, hey, we're missing this one. This could be the next SBET, or it could be the next Tops or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, as a shipping company, especially, you could relate it to Tops. I just don't want to be on the roller coaster looking down. So if you were able to get in from earlier, then you had a good entry. Just tougher to jump in from this point.
Well, now it's like a category 4. So
5. That spread's huge.
Yeah, spread's getting ugly. And what makes it really tough, and when you trade something like this, and I showed you examples of this when we trade in less than phase 3, you go out market orders, you get screwed,
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's a huge talking point we cover like in all of our classes. And obviously, by the time you're in phase 3, I'm sure you expect everyone to learn how to use their market and limit orders in phase 1. So we take a lot of time in those classes to cover it, but it's still something that not everyone's like comfortable with at a point. So like I'll cover it more in the coaching program, especially if you're trading these stocks. You shouldn't be if you don't know how to use a limit order. Let's just be honest, and that's okay. There's thousands of other fishies out there in the sea for us to try and grab. You don't need to trade this one. There's others.
Yeah, there's others out there. We haven't spoke about in a while. And I just have it on my watch. Is just looking at it, just for shits and giggles. Apple, that stock is not doing well at all. Just making lower lows on a long-term chart.
Yeah, really. I mean, it's been making lower highs since the end of last year, even just like every single time it kind of consolidates. What else we got here? Anything else doing here? Pretty good.
So, yeah, oil tankers. So what is it? The oil tankers are making a run because of the war too, you think?
Could be. Yeah, there was a stock I was about to call out, but it did, honestly, I pulled up the book map. It looked garbage, but it had to do with ethanol, like an ethanol gas or oil company. You got to make sure not only does it have good like trend, good spread, but the book map, if you have it, like make sure it's easy to read.
Nuke went up a little bit.
That's the thing, though. Nuke, we were just saying before, like it can go up, just it doesn't. It has an iceberg at 1750 next is resistance, and literally as I'm talking, they're playing with it. But you got resistance a little up top higher. Oh, and actually, an iceberg on the bid just pulled their order at 15. So, or I'm sorry, at 1480. I wonder if they'll ladder up. What was that trade I just tried to go through right there? Oh, the GPRA. That was the one. As long as this holds here and keeps knocking on a door, it's going to blast through it. So even if there's a better level next to 1750 for Nuke, there's a better entry. Oh, if you scroll all the way down on Nuke Fausto, look all the way down at like $11, 11.50.
There's a warrant, by the way.
All the way down on
NUKKW.
Nuke. Just take a look there if you got it up on your book map. Keep an eye on those orders. It wouldn't shock me if they get pulled and try and ladder those up. RBNE at $16, there could be another entry there over time. I'm just going to let it play out a little bit myself, but I like what I see coming up.
NUKKW is 18 cents.
Well, 18 cents sounds pretty good in the grand scheme of it.
It's a lot cheaper than paying, $17.
Yeah.
It's 100 times less. That big rally, the stock was back in December. We made that big run up. It was a penny and it ran to about 60 cents. Oh my God. Could you imagine?
Market's dropping off right now. Pretty decent here.
Yeah, it is.
I guess there's some IPO or, it's funny, Clarence, that's the weirdest thing in the world. Clarence saying he's from Columbus Circle in New York City, right, Fausto?
Yeah.
Just earlier. And I'm like seeing this ticker pop up on my gainers list. I'm like, what the hell is this? It looks like a warrant. Like, let me check the stock for this. Put up on the screen, Rich, the stock, CCCM, Columbus Circle Capital Corp. This thing is flying on up. Just, it's not tradable. It's not something we can unfortunately trade. That's like even worse than RB&E. But it's just funny. I was like, wait, is Clarence calling that out right there? Is it Columbus Circle or is he from there? Interesting chart, to say the least. All right, let's go back to Rich. Let's see if there's something a bit better. HUSA has been holding here. The RBNE's been holding here.
I bought some of this Nuke warrants just for fun. Well, it's never for fun. It's just usually for a strategy.
If Nuke can pull back towards 1550, I would love to see if I can get a quick low ball entry. But I think there's a shot I could just, pardon me, hold here and look to go up. And I don't mind just waiting it out. Oracle just keeps going up, like you had said. Geez.
Yeah, I bought that. Is it still going higher? Yeah.
Knocking on the door on an iceberg here at 207 and change.
Yeah, the Nuke W, like I said, is very speculative. It's just mainly, the reason why I'm buying it is because the whole war thing.
CGTL is trying to go back up. I'm eyeing it up here to see if there's a good level to try and look for a breakout. But it's looking pretty decent. I got some icebergs ahead on that trade, like 250 area. Mm, 220. Not really a great level on the CGTL, but it's trying to go up.
Oracle keeps going.
Oracle is so good here at this point.
It's crazy. Yeah, cause it kills you. You look at it, like, do you buy it here? Do you buy it here? Do you buy it here? It just keeps going.
Well, it's breaking through all these sellers, and at this rate, your next one up top is at 210. Focus on your $5 and $10 prices, so like 210. There's a pretty big iceberg sitting there. Now, the only thing is that we're getting close to reversal time, right? Like 10:30. So maybe this cools off, maybe this goes sideways more coming up, and later in the day, maybe it makes that higher high. Or maybe it reverses.
Yeah, we got about 5 more minutes. It's a typical Friday. I'm good. I'm glad I got a Palantir. It went down.
I have a good entry on a swing for Archer that I'm happy with.
That was my fault on Palantir. I bought that stock. I was still, it was going up so nicely. Started consolidating here. Is that big iceberg order? I thought it was going to kind of break that 140, the way it was going with this whole war thing and stuff like that. Paid like 138. I got out at 137. I lost a buck on it, but it's at 135. So, we always say it's a good loss. 30 shekel rule broke it. Listen, we lose. I'm not going to be afraid to admit it.
We don't control the stocks we trade. We only control the money that we put into it. So if we see things going the wrong way, we're like, shoot, let me. So, hey, losses could always be very good. You realize afterwards it freaking collapses. You're like, oh, thank God I got out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everything else, ASTS pulled back too. So I can't cry over spilt milk for missing that morning pop. Maybe there's going to be another dip down to 36 and then another bounce. So, if you miss out on something earlier, there's always new opportunities all throughout the day. If you're on social media, I'm sure you'll wrap up with this, Fausto, but, join us inside our room, right? That's where we have our full commentary, our chat board, our audio. So all throughout the day, we'll be here, you, myself, Rich, our students, if there's anything that's better that pops up, at least we'll look to call it out then. But as long as you're here, there's a chance.
Yeah, keep an eye on the RBNE. It's only 10:30 now. Our market's been open. Looks like we're making an HOD here. So
yeah, that there too.
Yep. So keep an eye on it. Still a lot of there's plenty of time. Still cheap stock. Like I said, this is how we see these stocks go from 16 to 120. Could it be this? Could be the next one. We'll see. But yeah. So we're gonna jump off the mic, everyone. I know I got a couple of calls with some of you here. And we're going to get a halt. There we go. 17. There we go. Hopefully everyone got a little piece of it. Nice little move on it. But overall, a lot of this market's coming down. Let's see what happens over the weekend with this war. A lot of this, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you're watching on social media, click that QR code up there and use your phone. And you could join us. We'll be here all day long. Once again, just be very careful. Typical Friday. And if we see anything that we like, we'll go out there and we'll spit it out. But so far, it looks like a little bit of a decent morning. I mean, I did okay. I got a couple of longs. I really want to get in some of these positions. Took some of my losses on them. But this obviously, this one position right here basically makes the day, the RBNE,
Oh, yeah, definitely. Absolutely. And, hey, again, there's always new opportunities coming up. Even the Archer trade, and hopefully there's a bounce on that, get a swing bounce on that over time. Just take a look at the APLD. Speaking of good losses, I just turned back to that. Like, holy shit, look how much this dropped off after. Yeah. So no problem going par. Better to go par than triple bogey. So leave off of that there.
All right, everyone. So see you all in a little bit. We're going to still be here. Don't go anywhere. And if we don't see you, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Happy Father's Day for everyone. We'll see you back here on Monday. We'll be back live again on the mic at 2:30.
Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, Fausto, yourself out there. And, of course, shout out to Henry out there as well if he's tuning in. But happy Father's Day to everyone.
Thank you.